This is a video to answer evaluation question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? A convention is basically something that is very common and what you would expect to see, for instance in this case, what you would expect to see in the music video. There are a large number of general conventions for music videos as a format, and then there's conventions for each individual genre. So what you would expect to see in each genre differs quite dramatically in music videos. I will first discuss the general conventions of music videos as a format. From looking at examples of music videos, for example, when we looked at the 15 videos at the start of the project, we developed a list of things that we would expect to see, so conventions in the music video format. These included having a band or singer as a focal point, discontinuity editing, male or female gaze, varying speeds of editing, singing direct to the camera, diegetic openings, special effects, multiple locations being shown, narrative or concept or performance videos, or normally a combination of two of the three, layering, multiple shot types, and to see instruments. There are some videos that are very good for identifying conventions. One in particular, It's No Good by Depeche Mode, really picks apart and exaggerates music video conventions, much like Scary Movie does for the slasher genre. Another video by Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence, is an example of using multiple locations and shot types, while Oasis's Wonderwall includes a diegetic opening, and videos by artists such as Madonna are very good for emphasising the male gaze theory. We also looked at some genre-specific example videos to establish what we would consider conventions for the alternative rock genre. The list that we came up with included the band or singer as a focal point, diegetic opening and or ending, fast-paced editing, band performing, the idea of isolation we found to be quite common, continuity editing, and generally it's a narrative and performance-based video. Some example videos for conventions in the alternative rock genre. Green Day's Jesus Suburbia displays continuity editing, and also is quite keen. The idea of isolation is quite key in that video. So that is one that we looked at very closely because it's quite similar to our idea. The same can be said for Pearl Jam and their song Jeremy, which is quite a bit is set in a school as well. And the idea of isolation is vital to that video. So that is something that we really looked into, and those are two examples of videos that we were told might be good to look at when we were receiving audience feedback in class. The song If You Wanna by The Vaccines shows the band performing and as a band or singer as a focal point, and shows fast-paced editing, linking in with the conventions discussed. The Foo Fighters song Best of You combines the narrative and performance-based footage, and the song Learn to Fly by the same band Foo Fighters has a diegetic intro and a diegetic outro. Looking at and discussing the conventions would obviously be quite pointless if we weren't going to discuss how we incorporated them into our video. So looking at the alternative rock genre conventions, I'll discuss how we have or haven't used the convention, so how we have developed or challenged them. We didn't really use the band or singer as a focal point, even though we did include performance footage. We focus more on the protagonist in the video, and they are a bit quite like a focal point. The band are involved in a diegetic opening where they are plugging in their equipment, and we felt this was a better opening than going straight into the narrative. And it's not really appropriate to have the band playing their instruments from the start of the song. And we felt that this was the best way to begin the video through trying different ways, and we did try a couple of diegetic openings, and we felt this was the best way to do it in the end. Fast-paced editing, we have tried to incorporate this in certain parts of the video. This was something that we got quite a lot of feedback on, where people said that they didn't think the editing was fast enough, and this was definitely a convention that we wanted to try and stick to. because we feel it makes the video much more interesting and is much more likely to make people want to watch it again. And we didn't really want to challenge this. The band performing is another convention which we did stick to. We always planned on having a mix of narrative and performance aspects to the video. The band provides the performance part to this. The idea of isolation is again something that we came about through audience feedback. We originally had the idea more of sort of like a bullying aspect, but through feedback we decided the idea of isolation was a much stronger idea, and through looking at examples such as Jesus of Suburbia or Jeremy, the idea of isolation was a lot stronger than the idea of bullying, and was also a lot easier to portray accurately and realistically, rather than in quite a tacky fashion, which the bullying seemed to appear. Continuity editing, again, we considered challenging this at certain points, and we feel that in a lot of our sample footage we stuck to this convention a bit too much. In the end, we do use this convention, and throughout the video it is quite edited in quite a linear fashion. But that was one point we did get on feedback on sample footage 3, for example, when people thought that the sequence was too linear and that we needed to mix it up a bit more and to make it more interesting. We also found that alternative rock videos are generally narrative and performance based, and that is something that we never really looked at doing anything different. That was always the plan, to keep it narrative and performance based from the original idea, which obviously has evolved, but we never really moved on from that. We looked at the possibility, but we never really seriously considered moving away from a narrative and performance based video.